Coming up on Future Now.
World needs everyone's ideas. That's why creating an accessible technology world will give an opportunity to everyone.
This is Future Now, a podcast series where we take you on a journey and unravel the emerging trends shaping our world today. Discover the answers to what's next. What are the advances that truly matter? What are the key innovations? And how can they empower every person and organization in the future? Presented by Gulf News in association with Microsoft and hosted by Ihsan Anabtawi, COO and CMO of Microsoft UAE.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts about the skills gap that exists within the disability community. So I feel there's two gaps when it comes to learning. There's a gap in everyone getting a baseline level of understanding of the needs, the technologies, the innovations, and how can we all become allies and really support accessibility broadly, whether we're in the community or not. So that's one gap. Right, and the other gap is I feel people with disabilities have been disproportionately impacted in terms of their access to skills, access to learning, and probably even that's been magnified by the pandemic, right? Where data tells us that community has been disproportionately negatively impacted when it comes to that aspect of access to content, learning, remote work, and their ability to do things properly using technology. So those are the two things, and you can comment on both of them or one of them. But that was what I wanted to learn, at least as per I understand.
Yeah, you're right. There are many things to change in disabled people's community. We have to keep innovating for this community, and to understand the community's needs, we have to follow the 3 steps: insight, innovation, and implementation. While we are talking about how WeWalk discovered, I cannot say that it was the aha moment. Okay, I woke up early and suddenly I found this idea. No, it wasn't like that. We have been working in this area for many years. Before WeWalk, as a team, we have implemented various technologies for visually impaired, and we got many insights from our users. And upon all these insights, we discovered that we have to provide an opportunity to visually impaired people to participate social life fully and equally. And because during these years, we witnessed there is a problem to reach education, there is a problem to reach employment, there is different problems in the different parts of the social life for the disabled people, for the visually impaired people. But in order to start change something, firstly, we have to encourage visually impaired people to go out. We have to provide a tool them to make them more social. That's why we focused on the mobility of visually impaired people. After the insights that we got from the users, we innovate and implement it. That's why everyone, if you think to innovate in this area, starting from very beginning, spend some time in the community, it's the first step, I believe.
Spot on, Kursat. And if I may add to that, I think the importance of representation is key, right? I think one thing we try to stay true to at our side, at Microsoft, is we cannot build a product serving certain disability needs without having representation.
Yes,
right, from the community,
sure.
Right, for the people, for the people that design, that build, that code. So that's critical, right? So I think representation is key, and my message to all companies and anybody listening is it's really critical that we invest in hiring, in training, in representation, so that we truly reflect the world that we serve, right? Regardless of your.
Yeah. Nothing about us without us. This
Absolutely.
is the
Yes.
United Nations
Yes.
motto. So
Yes. That's a great motto. Like that makes perfect sense to me, because otherwise, you're not making informed decisions. And I think your point about insight, that insight needs to come from the source, right? And I think, if I take your story as an example, I think you brought, just your own lived experience into this product, and it resonates, it works. You can relate to it. You have that direct touch in it. So that's the first thing I would say. The other thing, again, maybe a message for any business or company listening to us, is I often go out and talk to, companies, business leaders, executives, and, there's a strong level of understanding of the importance to do this. But many of them sometimes underestimate the number of people with disabilities in their company. And my answer typically to that is that 70% of all disability is invisible. In many cases, we do not know, right? So I think that's critical, right? For us to be able to serve everyone. In many cases, you're unable to tell, right? Whether that's a visible or invisible. I'll give you an example. Like everyone at Microsoft has to take accessibility fundamentals training. Everybody has to really have a baseline of knowledge. And I think that's really important because everyone participates, regardless if it's visible or invisible, so that we all can support that journey.
If you are a technology company and if you develop technology as service, you don't know how you impact someone's lives. Somehow you reach them and touch them, and you don't know. I know from myself, again lived experience. Microsoft is developing technology. Okay, Microsoft developing operating system, and while you are developing this operating system, you didn't know how you are gonna impact people's lives, because it's a really endless product. You can do whatever you want, and you cannot dream every different possibilities. Someone can draw a picture, someone can play a game, etc. But there might be some visually impaired students who are reading his document with your technology. And that's why you cannot know how you impact on people's lives. I remember my first day that I used computer. Before I started to use computer, I was asking someone else, hey, could you read me this text? Could you write this text to me, etc. But I started to use computer with Windows 95, and it opens the world of discovery. I started to read whatever I want. I started to use internet. I started to write my homeworks on my own, and it contributed me a lot. And right now, if I am the person telling the technology that we developed, it based on this story. That's why right now I am the co-founder of technology, helping other visually impaired people. It's a snowball effect. Each company have to follow inclusivity guidelines, and more that they have to think, they have to develop their products for everyone.
Really, really so insightful, Kursat, and so well articulated. I couldn't agree more with you. Two last questions maybe from my side. The first one would be, any messages or call to action or thoughts from your side to anybody listening that you'd like to share or deliver? And my next one would be, what's next for you? What's next for you and WeWalk? What can we expect?
Oh, exciting question. I will give an answer. But before that, yes, as a message, I believe that all of us are unique and valuable in our respect. And everyone has potential, and we have to provide opportunity to unleash their potential. Because world needs everyone's ideas, everyone's perspectives. And technology is a great tool for giving a platform for people to share their ideas, to keep innovating. But beyond that, we are starting a new social responsibility project, especially in Turkey with Microsoft. Visually impaired people will start using WeWalk more because of the Microsoft support. And I wish this campaign can spread out in different countries, especially in the Middle East. When I come to the second question, the last question, what is next for the WeWalk? Okay, I can start with the great news. It's the first time that we are announcing it publicly. WeWalk has a partnership with Imperial College London, and we have been working on how to enhance visually impaired people's mobility with computer vision technology. And recently, this collaboration has been funded by the UK government with £1.7 million grant. And in the next 2 years, we will work on implementing computer vision technology to WeWalk technology. And I believe we will ease visually impaired people's lives in the future with computer vision technology more.
That's fantastic news. Thank you for sharing it with us here on this platform first, and congratulations to you and the team. I think that's really, really great. Kursat, I mean, the work you're doing is so important, so inspirational. You are an inspiration, quite frankly. I couldn't be happier to have met you, to have learned about the work you're doing, and to be able to host you here on this podcast. I really, really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much. I hope to be able to host you again in a future episode of this podcast, Future Now, and wishing you and the team continued success. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us today and giving us opportunity to tell WeWalk more, because we have to reach more visually impaired people. And I believe this podcast will help us to reach more people who knows the WeWalk technology.
Thank you, Kursat. Thank you.
To keep up to date with our latest episodes in the series, follow Future Now, a podcast series by Gulf News in association with Microsoft. Visit gulfnews.com/future-now for more.